There are many different seasons of the prophetic, and we look at this particular one I call your prophetic season. God has many prophets throughout the world and the nation, but it's important to understand your specific prophetic season, which may or may not have anything to do with someone else's prophetic season. This is very important. Be encouraged. Take a look. Be sure to subscribe and press alert to get new notifications of new success secrets made available on VFNtv. So the next thing I want to talk about after an audience of one is your prophetic season, a prophetic season. There are your specific, your prophetic season. There are many prophets that God uses to accomplish His will on earth. Many. If you're one of them, you're one of many. If you think you're the only one, you might not be used much longer. Understand that God is speaking to us. He loves people in America. He loves people in China. He loves people in Iraq and Iran and Russia and Turkey and Brazil and, hello, Brazil, everybody. He loves you. And He's going to raise up people who are going to hear His voice, like Amos chapter 3 says, and He's going to speak to you. He'll speak to you through so many different ways, but He'll raise prophetic people up. It's important to understand that you are one amongst many, delivering His word, not your own word, for the audience of one that we talked about. And your prophetic season, this is important, your prophetic season may sound and look nothing like another person's prophetic season. This is important because so often people try to tell you, well, that's a different word. This is what's being said. Well, that's what he or she's saying that God's telling them to say at this time, and they need to obey God and deliver that word. But if God is telling you or telling me to deliver this word in this time, this season, you deliver that word. He knows what He's doing. He knows what He's doing. That's why it's important for you to, when you hear a word, a prophetic word, you got to check it out. Is that a regional word? Is that a national word? Is that a global word? Because you have people that are going to things like, and I appreciate this particular Elijah's list that gathers of prophetic words, but some words may be for your nation and not this other person's nation. It may be for you, your region, and not for you. It may be a specific word to you alone and not to other. You got to know how that word's being delivered. So in regards to your season, that you got to answer for God in your season, that you don't want to mix what God is saying through you with someone else. You want to appreciate what God's saying and receive it. If that's God speaking through them, you want to say specifically about that particular person. It's like yes or no, but I know that person. I know their fruit. They're known by their fruit. That's somebody that you can trust. They have a legitimacy in their ministry. They love God, and based on what I know, that seems to be a good word. It's okay to take it that way. But if you don't know them, realize too that, in Matthew chapter 6, in Matthew chapter 7, Jesus said, many people are going to prophesy in your name. They're going to prophesy in Jesus' name. He didn't say they're going to prophesy wrong. He said they're going to prophesy in your name. They're going to cast out demons. They're going to perform miracles. And He said, I never knew you. God can speak prophetically to a person who doesn't even know Him. So it's with fear and trembling we're listening and paying attention to what God's saying. I think about Necho, the Pharaoh of Egypt, and I think about Josiah. And here's, Pharaoh, he's thinking he's God, right? And so he tells Josiah, he prophesies to him when he's going down for war, when Necho, Egypt, Pharaoh is going down to war. He says, this war has nothing to do with you, King Josiah. You stay there, King Josiah of Israel. One of the greatest kings there ever was, according to Scripture, before or after, was King Josiah. So this is an awesome dude who pleases God from a child. And he didn't listen. He didn't listen to Necho. And what happened? He went down to the river in a battle that wasn't his, and he died in his 30s. In his 30s, a man that pleased the Lord. And so it's with fear and trembling, we're listening. We're listening to what God's saying, and you got to hear. That's why we always talk about abiding with God. And if you don't know anything about abiding, go to iabide.org. iabide.org. You got a free plan for you. Learn how to listen to God's voice and to hear Him. So it's important to understand that in our season, that when God's given us a word for our season or giving you a word for your season, it's not necessarily a stamp that goes over every situation. Like, this is the word, this is the word, this is the word. You got to listen to what God's telling you to deliver. It could be specifically for a church, one people group, one stream. It could be, God's going to bring that word to do business, ever how he wants to do business, and encourage whatever it is. But it's don't not be faithful in your season. Don't mix your words with somebody else, and don't pick up a word that's not yours and claim it to be yours. So many people pick up a word maybe from Elijah's lesson, and they start speaking it like it's theirs. And it's like, you need to say, you heard that word from so-and-so, and I believe it's of the Lord. That's how you do it. Because you don't know, first of all. Secondly, it's not your word, and you don't have the authority to be speaking that. And if they missed it, now you've misled somebody. It's a very dangerous thing to speak on behalf of God if you don't know what's going on. And so that's what he talks about in Revelation chapter 2, when he's talking to the church at Thyatira. False prophets rising up and misleading God's people. So if it happened to Josiah, it can happen to you. And so that's important to understand that aspect of understanding that you have a season. Don't overlap your season with someone else. Your life lasts for a certain time. God's going to use you potentially in that particular part of your life. He does it everywhere. He's done it in every season of life. Understand that during your season, you want to be found faithful during your season. Wait. Don't go anywhere. Subscribe. Listen, together we can touch the world. That's right. Subscribe below. Right. Wait. Don't go away. Subscribe. We're going to touch the world.
A lot of people want to abide with the Lord, but they just don't have a plan to do it. You can request that plan today at iabide.org.
Hey, be sure to check us out at VFNkb.com, and also join the VFNkb community at VFNkbcommunity.com. Listen, your success is our success. Our success is your success, and our success together is kingdom success.